Let's start our practice today in Tadasana, mountain posture. Let's rise up and make ourselves as tall as we can be, creating space within our body, lifting our flesh externally, having everything rise upwards. Let's take our shoulders back so that we open out across the front of the chest, allowing greater room for the lungs to expand. As you breathe in, experience the inflating lungs. And as you let go of that breath, experience the sense of release and surrender it brings. Allow your shoulders to relax down and away from your ears, and let the upper arms then relax downward too. Let the hands, the fingers, drop loosely toward the floor. Have a moment or two to become grounded and centered. And close the eyes. You may feel the transference of weight between your 2 feet. Draw in, focus, get this weight evenly distributed and balanced. Feel this great connection with the earth beneath you, and using your power of visualization, see roots coming from the soles of your feet and moving downward deep, deep into the earth, like a tree, and the roots that travel down deep, making you firm and solid and grounded from your base. And then feeling this rising up through the body, up to the crown of the head and beyond, into the atmosphere, into the universe. Then you have these 2 energies, the rising up and the deep rooted going down. The push and the pull. And then open the eyes. Take a nice deep breath in. Think of lifting internally, especially pubis to navel, navel to breastbone. And as you exhale, just gently allow your left hand to travel down the outer edge of your left leg. Keep the head and neck as a natural extension of the spine. Keep the shoulders aligned so your right shoulder is stacking itself above your left rather than allowing it to roll forward. If you're trying to get your hand too far down and you come out of that alignment, be aware of this and rectify. So we're bending our spine laterally. And then we breathe in, we come up through the centre and fluidly transfer to the other side. Those right fingertips travelling down the outer edge of the right leg. And keep the tummy pulling in so that it is supporting the spine and it's strengthening the spine. And then rise up to a central position. Bring the right hand round to the left hip. Nice deep breath in. Create space. Exhale. Rotate to the left. See if you can draw your right hand round towards your right hip. Your left hand round towards your right hip. Your right hand on your left hip just brings it forward a little to keep it aligned as you twist and rotate through the spine. So both hips are facing directly ahead of you whilst you rotate and turn to look over your left shoulder. And then gently release And we'll go the other way. So the left hand comes onto the right hip. It's going to gently keep that hip pointing forwards as you begin to turn the trunk of your body, and then take your right hand round to the left hip. So you're twisting in the spine now to turn to look over your right shoulder, but you're maintaining those hips both facing directly forwards. And gently release. Take a nice breath in once again. Rise up, think of lifting your hips away from your two femur bones, your thigh bones, and then have a forward flexion. Take your time so that you can allow the legs to fully take the impact of the forward bend. So the increased stretch that is taking place is now distributing itself equally and evenly around your legs. Get to the point that's comfortable for you, and then relax the back of the neck. Allow the top of the head to point down toward the mat. Keep the knees lively, active and lifting. Have the buttocks over the heels of the feet. Avoid pushing the buttocks to the wall behind you. And then, nice and easy, walk the hands up the legs, scoop the tummy, pull it in, restack the bones of your spine, bring your shoulders over your hips, into Tadasana once again. Let's just separate the feet very slightly. We'll bring the right hand over to the left hip. The left hand reaches round to rest on the right hip. So both the hips are pointing directly forward. Taking an inhalation and creating space internally, and then exhale, taking the body forward. And let's just travel that right hand down the outside edge of our left leg. So we're actually rotating as we forward flex. And then release that left hand and take it up towards the ceiling. Now your right hand, if you want to rest it on the outer thigh, if your reach is here, or if your flexibility is here and your hand is at the shin, that's fine. It's all dependent on where your practice is today, and there's no judgment necessary. It's about you exploring your body and its capabilities at this moment in time. And that will be ever changing. For the more you keep up with your disciplined practice, you will find that change occurs within every session. And then breathe in, pull the tummy in because that's supporting the spine. And rise up, bringing yourself once again into Tadasana, mountain posture. Just check that the toes are not pushing into the floor or mat too much. There should be no tension in the toes. You should be able to stand equally, balanced, coordinated, and be able to wiggle the toes. Let's go to the other side. So you're going to bring your left hand outside of your right hip. Just turn it so that the palm faces outward. Bring your right hand round to rest on your left hip. Just at the initial foundation of the movement, you're aware that both hips are pointing forwards, that they are aligned. Rise up, create space as you breathe in, and then as you breathe out, begin to hinge forward and allow rotation of the spine as you lower. Bringing that left hand outside of the right leg and then releasing your right arm to stretch up towards the ceiling.
Check that your hips are level and that your buttocks are over the heels of your feet. It's just a mental scan of the body, using that inner eye to view your alignment, your skeletal frame. It's a great thing about yoga is that during your practice you really get to know you. And with every breath that you take and you continue to be observant, you can then make those minor adjustments and alterations. And then you'll rise up once again, ensuring the spine stays strong by activating and engaging the stomach muscles, and then you return to Tadasana, mountain posture. Let's now transfer the weight into our left foot. So it's very simply just bringing your total body weight to retain that balance that it had over 2 feet. However, bringing it to 1. You'll release the right foot away from the mat. We're going into Vrksasana, tree posture. Now you can stay at the base here with the foot if you like. You can bring that right foot to the inside of the left knee, or you can draw it up to the pubis. The choice is yours. Use your right hand to gently tease the right knee out in line with the right hip. Stay focused. Look at a spot on the wall in front of you. Concentrate. And as you concentrate, remain observant to your flow of breath. And then as you breathe in, raise the hands to shoulder level and stretch into the fingertips. Feel as if you're reaching equally to both walls at either side of you. And you continue to rise up through the trunk of your body. And fluidly, you begin to rotate the arms. The palms of the hands face the ceiling. And then extend your fingers toward the floor. And still with shoulders relaxed, you raise the arms up to bring the hands together over the crown of the head, keeping those elbows opened and in line with the ears. Unclench your teeth. Rise up and make yourself the tallest tree that you can be. Stay focused. Bring the hands to the third eye, to the heart space, retaining that height, that stature of your very solid and grounded tree. And then gently release the leg and come to place the weight equally once again between the 2 feet. A breath in and out, and then transfer that weight. It's just a very slight movement so that the overall distribution of the weight that you had into 2 feet just transfers into the 1. You peel the left foot away from the mat and take it to your chosen position, whether that be at your ankle, at your knee, or up near the pubis. Use your left hand to gently bring the left knee out in line with the left hip. So just make these minor adjustments and alterations as you
Move gracefully through the position. The hands come up to shoulder level and you stretch and extend through to the fingertips. Find that point of focus in front of you. Ensure that your teeth are not clenched. Concentration can sometimes bring us to hold the breath or clench the teeth, and we want to aim to avoid these actions. Let's rotate the arms, palms face the ceiling. Let's extend the fingers down towards the mat. Let's synchronize the movement with our breathing. And we're moving nice and slowly so that we may consciously control. Bringing the heels of the hands to rest just above the crown of the head. Taking our elbows back in line with our ears. Allowing our chest to open, creating greater space for lung expansion. The bigger and longer the breaths you take in, the greater amounts of oxygen you imbibe, which is beneficial. For we all know now that it is oxygen that feeds every living cell of your body, slowly releasing out of the position, bringing that balance, that equal distribution of your body weight into the 2 feet. Close the eyes and tune in. And then open the eyes. Breathe in, raise the hands to shoulder level, extend into the fingertips. Let's step the feet 3.5 to 4 feet apart. So dependent on the length of your legs, you might need them a little wider, you might need them a little closer. Again, the toes are relaxed. You're going to breathe in, pick the toes up, turn them to the left. Both hips remain facing directly in front of you, and the trunk of your body rises up and is tall and straight. You're reaching through the arms into the fingertips. Hip back with the flesh and muscles of the upper arms, helping to tone the flesh and muscles to connect alongside bone as nature intended. Inhale, create space. Exhale, extend to the left. Stretch and reach. Go slowly so that you can take fully the reach and the stretch that you have. As you then descend, bringing that left hand down towards the left foot. The aim is to reach the foot or the toes, but if you are here at the upper thigh, as long as you're nicely aligned, shoulders stacked one upon each other, shoulders and hips on the same alignment, that's great. Avoid holding onto the knee. You don't want to put any stress or tension on the knee. You could be resting at the shin. And as you remain in the position, Trikonasana, triangle posture, and you stay with the breath, you'll begin to notice that the breath will guide you. It will let you know when it's ready for the space to move into. For you will create that space with every breath in. And you will surrender with every breath out. You want to feel like you're pinned between 2 panes of glass and there's only about 6 inches in between. So if you feel that your ego has taken you ahead and you've got your hand down on the floor but
your right shoulder has come forward, you've collapsed in the trunk of the body. You really need to take yourself back in the position and get yourself correctly aligned, and then you'll really feel the full, complete stretch, the lateral stretch of the spine. And then you'll activate the strength of the core muscles, your stomach muscles, and you'll breathe in and you'll come back to your central position, the star position. And the 5 points of the body, the toes, the fingertips, the top of the head, all reaching out, and everything in between has this beautiful flow of energy happening. It's free flowing. There are no obstructions, there are no obstacles. And then you raise the toes and turn to the right. Your right toe turns out 90 degrees. Your left toes turn in between 30 and 45 degrees, or to the point of comfort, and where the right heel is aligned with the left instep. You might like to look down and just check on that. In Trikonasana, triangle posture, you can also practice this with a wall behind you, and you keep your shoulders and your hands connected to the wall and the back of the head very close to the wall, and that way you know you are in alignment and that you will get the fullness of the position, the full benefits, the full experience. As you exhale, you begin that reach to the right. You stretch. You take your time so that every breath counts. When you breathe in, you can feel the space you've made. And then as you breathe out, you're aware of moving in to that space. It's an exploration. It's about discovering your true potential for movement. We all have it. Many of us have lost so much of the flexibility and suppleness we had as a child. But we can regain some of that, if not all, if not more, by persevering, keeping up the practice, retaining even the slightest amount of discipline. It does bring benefits, allows you to have a fuller life, a more enriching life experience. Pull strong in your core as you return to a central position. If you need to lower the arms and have a breather, then do so. If you can keep them raised, it's going to increase the upper body strength. It's going to increase the toning of the flesh and the muscles. But of course, work to what feels really comfortable for you. So we're continuing with this rising up through the legs. We're keeping the legs active and lively, so the knees are lifting. A breath in creates space at the hips, and then exhale, hinge forward. Now go nice and slowly so that you can watch your alignment, so that you're aware of your head and neck being a natural extension of your spine until you get to the halfway mark and feel that you have a nice tabletop position of your spine, and the breath is flowing and the hands are shoulder level. See if you can continue to hinge over, and if you can bring those hands to the outer edge of the legs. Now it might be on the shins, it might be at the ankles. You might at this point be able to widen the feet. You might possibly be able to connect your fingers with the outer edge of your feet and relax the back of the neck, the top of the head. The aim is to bring the head down towards the mat. But again, this takes time and there should be no judgment. You just want to ensure that you're keeping active legs, that the skin is lifting from the ankles to the hips. Hit back with the inner thigh muscles. Hitting back is just pulling that flesh and muscle back to bone in quick succession. Really helps tone and shape. This is a restorative position for the heart. The head now beneath the heart. So you're also getting oxygenated blood pumping into the brain, refreshing and re-energizing. The weight of your head, which is the heaviest part of the body, is now allowing that natural development of stretch and reach through the torso, the trunk of the body. And then gently release. You can bring the hands shoulder width apart between the legs. And if you're not yet at the point where you can reach the outer edge of the feet, or your hands are here or up here, this is just a gentle little variation where you can practice in your own time as well, having the hands shoulder width apart and just flexing the elbows down as you breathe out. So you'll breathe in to straighten the arms, and you'll breathe out to bend the elbows. You want to look at having the shoulders, elbows and wrists all in an alignment as well. So when you do bend the elbows, they're coming down in line with the wrists and shoulders rather than splaying out to the side. So it's just another small technique that you could use. And you could do this whilst you're watching the TV. You can fit yoga in to your daily lifestyle. There's no reason or excuse not to, really. So then we'll travel those fingers up the outside edge of the legs. Bring ourselves upright. We can heel the toes. Heel to toe in or jump step and walk the feet together and bring ourselves back to Tadasana. Let's take the weight into the left foot, breathe in, bend the right knee in towards you, link the fingers round the shin, draw it up towards you, just really giving a nice compression in that right hip, keeping your shoulders above your hips and release. Other side, and try and do this without looking down. Still have your focus ahead of you at the wall, and just stay safe in the knowledge that your balance will hold you, it will keep you, as long as you have calm, composed state of mind. And of course, the more you practice, the more this becomes second nature to you. Give your legs a little bit of a shake if you need to. Give your arms a little bit of a shake. Bring the hands together to your heart. Give thanks for your practice. Be aware of everything that is good and positive. Be grateful. Surround yourself with good and positive people, emotions, aspirations. Allow this to manifest so that it becomes you, and you can then emit the same outward to others, allowing us all to have a greater life experience, safe in the knowledge that yoga is good for all.